Ok, let's go. Commencer le jeu. Ça va être chelou ou pas? The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the loading. Ok, the end is loading. Alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Ah, c'est fort le
Something
son,
he
pardon,
would
j'ai
never
laissé.
quite forget. He had
J'ai
been
laissé
at
le
his
son.
desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Ah mais oui, c'est en
Never
anglais.
had
Purée, je viens de capter. Désolé, c'est en anglais. Ah, mais j'ai complètement... vraiment désolé, quoi. Ok. Mais moi, j'ai pas fait gaffe. Désactiver. Dialogue seulement. Dialogue plus bruitage. Est-ce qu'on peut le mettre en français? Oh la vache, je suis vraiment désolée. Moi, du coup, va falloir que je traduise, c'est ça? Oh crap. I'm so sorry, it's in English. Oh no. En gros, Stanley est un employé qui travaille dans le bureau 427, je sais pas trop quoi, là. Et qui, tous les jours de sa vie, tous les jours, appuie sur des boutons d'un clavier. C'est tout ce qu'ils ont dit pour le moment. Hein. Il appuie sur des boutons d'un clavier, il y a des... Sur l'écran, on lui dit sur quoi il faut appuyer, il appuie, et c'est tout. Hein. Ça, c'est l'employé, c'est tout. Voilà. Voilà. Moi, apparemment, je suis Stanley, hein. Je crois que, voilà, 427, voilà, c'est ça. Et voilà, et Stanley, il appuie sur les boutons du clavier.
All of his co-workers were
Ah bah
gone.
voilà.
What could it
Eh bah voilà. On a les sous-titres en français.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah oui, je suis tout seul. Bah oui, sont mes copains. On va aller dans la salle de réunion. Peut-être que j'ai oublié un truc. Elle est où la salle de réunion?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hihi, moi je vais à droite.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
B. Hihi. Moi je suis déjà dissidente, ça y est. C'est où? C'est là.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Uh-huh.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
D'accord. Je de l'ambiance, voilà. Je regarde les tableaux.
Yes, really, really worth it being
Je vais
here in the
s'atteindre.
room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
On se moque de moi là. On est en train de me troll.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Ok.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Ha! Eh, c'est exactement ce que je viens de dire, c'est marrant ça. Attendez, parce que... Est-ce que... Mouse one. Use item. On est d'accord que c'est mouse one, hein. Je vous ai dit, il faudrait que je fasse des jeux vidéo. Pourquoi quand je fais mouse one, ça fait le bruit d'un clavier? Je me balade avec mon clavier ou quoi? Je peux rien tester.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took
Ah, en
the
fait, je
first
pouvais partir avant. Je pensais qu'il fallait que j'attende dans la pièce, moi.
open door on his left to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Hé, bah non. Et moi, je prends l'ascenseur. Hihihi. C'est pas prévu, hein. Et ouais, hein.
But
On
Stanley
brain
didn't
le
want to
jeu.
go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Ah. D'accord. Oui.
No,
What?
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Bonsoir, Pablo
Let's
Dumont.
see, we went down right, left,
On vient de commencer,
down,
tout juste.
left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ok. What?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Oh crap.
Okay. We just have to get back to oh, who am I kidding?
Je me fais spoiler et je me spoil
Rubbish
moi-même.
now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Quoi?
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm?
Oh mince.
Okay, from the top.
Oh! Oh! Bah! Oups.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bon, on va écouter cette fois-ci parce que... On va écouter.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure.
Oh!
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh! Trop de portes! Où est-ce qu'il faut que j'aille? On va aller à la meeting room du business. On va aller là où il avait dit qu'il fallait aller au début. What the F? C'est un labyrinthe. What? Where am I going?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Mais...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oui. Meeting room. Okay.
Okay, Yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Ok.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What the f...
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Moi, je veux bien gagner, moi.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
What? Oh non! Really? Eh coucou Magla, comment ça va? Oh trop bien, on est connectés, je devais y jouer jeudi. Bah j'ai joué complètement par hasard parce que j'ai fini un jeu tout à l'heure qui s'appelle Soma. Je sais pas si tu y as joué Magla. C'était vraiment super et vu que je voulais pas retourner sur PUBG, on m'a conseillé un jeu qui était vraiment pas long et c'est ça. Et c'est complètement mindfuck. Bon du coup je vais passer juste faire un bisou. Je vais pas me spoiler. Non non non. Attends, te spoil pas. Des bisous Magla. J'espère que tu aimeras le jeu aussi. C'est un premier jeu de ma chaîne. Ah, c'est le premier jeu que t'as fait. Il est vraiment excellent. Il est vraiment super cool. Humour british sur... Ouais, c'est ça. This game is so weird. Ah non. Oh purée.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Des bisous, Magla. Bonne soirée.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Allez, j'ai fait le pour pas trop en bas. Non, non, non. J'attends que tu partes. Comme ça, je te spoil pas. Tes bisous. Bonne soirée. Ok, il nous a tracé une ligne. Mais c'est trop gentil. Il nous a tracé une petite ligne pour qu'on parte. Pour qu'on suive l'histoire. So nice of him. Thank you. Very much.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Est-ce que l'histoire sans destination reste une histoire, hein?
Moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute.
Oui, j'écoute, ouais. J'écoute.
Now we can both agree that
la nature même de l'existence est en fait un sous-produit de notre expérience.
Of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now if my experience of this office is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Et la ligne, elle a fait un virage sur le mur, mon gars.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Je me fais troll, au secours.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
What the... Oh.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ouais! Woohoo! Une autre histoire!
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Oui.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
What the f... What?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
What the... Okay. Okay.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
Oui.
From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah, c'était une des fins du jeu, ça? Ah, c'était une fin, là? C'était une fin... c'était une fin de jeu? Oui, Nio! Oh là là! J'ai pas d'alerte pour les raids, je suis grave. Merci beaucoup, Nio, pour le raid. Bonsoir, tout le monde. Coucou, coucou! Ah, mais je viens de finir une fin, là, c'est ça? Damn, go right! Et si on l'écoutait, là, à chaque fois si on l'écoute. Bonjour Nio, bonsoir tout le monde, merci beaucoup pour le raid, bonjour, bonjour. Bonsoir Bartkun, coucou. Et merci beaucoup Nio, j'espère que tu vas bien. Bonsoir T-Love. Magla est passée tout à l'heure. Mais elle ne voulait pas se spoil parce qu'elle va le faire bientôt. C'est ça le jeu expérimente. Ok, et bien cette fois-ci on va écouter. On va écouter ce qu'il dit le bonhomme. Mais non, il m'a renvoyé. Oh mince. Le spoil. Eh bien, l'histoire, c'est que en fait, on s'est retrouvés. Comment la mislead? Oh purée.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all.
Attends. Il faut pas la spoiler. Non mais en fait l'histoire c'est que... Purée. Trop tard, elle a vu non? Non elle a pas vu, c'est bon. Merci beaucoup quand même pour le raid hein, Nio, c'est très gentil. Et bien bonne nuit à vous. Des bisous à vous deux. Ciao ciao.
He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around, and yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on... Wait, using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some pebble on all the text. This will ensure it calm. Okay, everyone is unique. You most of all. Et pourquoi je peux interagir avec rien du tout en fait avec mes petites mains là? Quality positive review. We need less reviews. Work harder. Hard worker. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. The boss appreciation. On your boss appreciation, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out and triplicate and... Monetize free to play. Help, I'm a post-it. Help, I'm a post-it. Help! Okay. Get Chris out of the broom closet? Sortir Chris du placard à balai? What? Push for funding R&D of new coffee machine. Employer quelqu'un qui va s'occuper des papiers. Papers are too synergized. Renvoyer le mec, le paper guy. Employer quelqu'un qui va renvoyer le mec. Puis, who moved my desk? Please keep the... What the heck? Ok. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce jeu? Meeting room. Meeting schedule. Oh, broom closet! Chris! T'es où?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Il y avait écrit sortir Chris du placard à balai. Il est pas là. He's not here. Ok, d'accord, on va continuer. On va l'écouter sur ce truc-là. Sur ce scénario, on va l'écouter.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ok. Ok. Oh. Alright. Ok. Hi. Bonjour. Très bien. Mais qu'est-ce que c'est que c'est... Mais c'est... Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette tapis... Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette... Non mais... Dans un immeuble... Ah, t'arrives dans un truc, on dirait un manoir avec une tapisserie digne de... Aïe aïe aïe. Aïe aïe aïe. Ok. Bonjour.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Mince, c'était quoi déjà?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Mikoul, merci beaucoup. Attends. Oh là là, merci beaucoup pour les 10 euros, Mikoul. Hello. Merci, merci. Oh, c'est trop gentil, Mikoul. Merci infiniment. Merci à toi pour les 10 euros.
By sheer luck, amazing.
Oh, j'ai trouvé la combinaison complètement par hasard. Waouh. Bonne nuit, Mikoul. Ciao, ciao. Merci encore. Mince, faut faire quoi? Allô? J'ai pas écouté. Hi. Mince, il a dit qu'il fallait faire quoi le bonhomme? Ah oui, ça a ouvert ici. Encore l'ascenseur. D'accord. On va arriver à la salle des écrans quoi. C'est ça? Merci à Funny Tupac, merci pour le follow. Merci pour les follow les gens, merci. Oh, what?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah non, j'ai dit que j'écoutais tout ce qu'il disait là. Là, Là, j'écoute exactement tout ce qu'il me dit. Hein.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Y a personne sur les écrans. Pourquoi? Mon ça, le gros coco.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Huh.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle
Détruire les
the
contrôles à tout
controls
jamais.
once and for all.
Okay. J'y vais. Mind controls idle awaiting input. Alright. Okay. System power. Off. Et là c'est la fin. Je suis morte. Que j'ai enlevé le truc qui contrôle tout le monde.
Blackness
Merci d'accueil pour le
and a
follow.
rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Oui.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Wow.
That was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. Alright. Bon, deuxième fin du coup. Elle était sympa celle-là. C'est vrai que c'est le...
Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What? Il a l'air confus le mec.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room.
What a beautiful room.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
J'aurais dû prendre tout droit.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
J'aurais dû aller tout droit.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Give him back his feet.
What a relief.
Give me my
Stanley
feet.
felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What the fuck? What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
What the
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Bon ami, d'accord. Merci beaucoup Edouard pour le 8e WhatsApp. Coco. Merci. Yes.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What the... What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariela. Mariela woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Il y a 45 fins. En vrai, il y a combien de fins différentes?
Yes, really worth it being here. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Ok. Et si je me jette pas du haut du truc?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open...
Merci beaucoup Marc Marlo pour les 5 €, pour les nouveautés et les changements de jeu de temps en temps, ça fait du bien. Et bien sûr ta bonne humeur et ta qualité. Bonne soirée. Je retourne dans l'ombre. Merci beaucoup Marc, c'est très gentil. J'ai l'impression que ça fait longtemps que je ne t'ai pas croisé, ou peut-être es-tu tout le temps dans l'ombre. Merci beaucoup pour les 5 €, c'est gentil. Et je suis contente si ça vous plaît. Que je joue à d'autres trucs que PUBG parfois. Oh, glad you like it. Merci beaucoup Marc. Merci.
He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the
Benny,
meeting
ciao,
room,
merci
and Stanley knew
beaucoup.
it perfectly
Merci,
well.
merci. Ciao.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Nah. Bye. Nah.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nah.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Yes, I'm going. Bye.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, wow. I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1?
1.
That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that?
1.
But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
2.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh my gosh. It will never stop. Oh my. That sound! No! No! This is such a troll game. T'as-tu vu comment il nous bat? It's nuts. It's oh my god.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
No.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
What the heck?
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark.
What?
Have you brought a light? Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game. Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass
Portal,
box
on
with
dirait
no
Portal.
way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Mais non. What the heck am I doing here?
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Mais qu'est-ce que c'est que ce jeu?
Genius.
Good evening,
No,
Wookie.
you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game...
Hi. What? What? Holy crap. What am I supposed to do here? Qu'est-ce que je dois faire? Rien? Mais... Where are we? I'm so confused. I'm being trolled. Level 100 here. Qu'est-ce que je fiche ici? Oh! What? What am I supposed to do? What?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
I'll
The
be
end
back.
will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Hey, trouble zombie. Ah, on a fini une fin là, non?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I
C'est
got
pas la même
what
phrase
I
là au
wanted.
début.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Combien est-ce qu'il y a de fins?
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really
Il y a plein de
worth it.
fins, ouais, mais j'ai compté 19 sur le wiki. Ah. Ah. The end is never the entry.
At this
Yeah, that's
point,
true.
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Everyone left because I'm too boring. Oh no. Je suis trop relou.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Ok. J'attends pour voir s'il y a vraiment un truc. Est-ce que vous croyez qu'il va venir me reparler? Il y a un succès qui s'obtient en minimum 5 ans. Quoi? Merci beaucoup Rita pour le resubprime de 6 mois, Coco.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
Il y a une porte en bas que je peux emprunter, non?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it,
Who her?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
What?
To let her back into your life.
Oh.
She's been waiting.
Who waiting? Who?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do.
Allô? Allô? Allô?
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Oui.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Ok.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh! Ah! No!
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to
I'm
you?
alone.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Holy crap! No! Hi, darling.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Comment ça, de death?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Holy. Veuillez appuyer sur 8.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating
I'm being
lunch.
used.
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Non. 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 D'accord.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Regardez la télé. Ah ouais.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Make dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Get them.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Veuillez mourir.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay. Holy crap.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
I can't stand this guy's voice anymore. I think it's quite good. He's doing it well. Well, he's very present. That's the thing.
The lounge was grand,
all the time
majestic. Perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I can maybe diminish the volume. Audio.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Merci beaucoup, Eusrabi, pour le resub de 17 mois. Coucou, petit coucou à la canette, toujours mais là, t'as pas eu de réponse pour le truc d'art un peu au passage, je prends... Purée, tu m'as envoyé ça où, Eusrabi? Prends ça pour un non. Je t'avoue que j'ai pas lu Srabi. J'ai dû l'ouvrir et j'ai pas fait gaffe parce que ça me dit rien. Et sinon des bisous. Ne prends pas ça pour un non, non. C'est juste que j'ai pas fait attention. Relance-moi.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
Coucou Merci.
The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here.
Okay.
Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
Ugh.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Holy. Oh. Merci beaucoup Kyria pour le host. Oh non.
What do we want?
Merci beaucoup Kyria. Comment ça va ma petite Kyria? Merci pour le host. Bonsoir tout le monde. Hello everybody. Je suis sur un jeu méga ultra bizarre qui me troll depuis le début. Oh là là, tu devrais le faire Kyria. C'est Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable. Bonsoir tout le monde, bonsoir. J'espère que vous avez passé un excellent live. C'était libre antenne ce soir, non?
What are we looking for?
Ça va, merci Kyria. Coucou Mestriki, ouais c'est vrai. Oh. Salut Arcolite, bonjour. Bonjour Drofrel. Salut AQ451, bonjour Rodi, bonjour j'ai Maximus, bonjour à tous. Comment ça va?
Here, yes.
What?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Damn girl. C'est quoi comme jeu? C'est ultra chelou Kyria. Enfin faut le faire en fait pour être dedans quoi. Bonjour Drofrel, ça va? Merci beaucoup. Et merci beaucoup Kyria pour le resub de 6 mois. Moi aussi je dois repartager chez toi. Normalement. Bonsoir Maverick. C'est étrange, oui c'est étrange, c'est ça. Depuis Soma en fait. Oh non mais Striki, sérieux? J'ai loupé tous tes messages depuis Soma? Oh, je serais désolée. J'ai vraiment pas vu. Merci beaucoup Arco pour le follow. Bienvenue et bonsoir le Sous-Geek. Salut. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Si je me suicide là, ça fait quoi?
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Okay.
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Bye-bye.
You heard me before, didn't you? You
Bye.
will die.
Bye.
What about this isn't getting through to you?
Non, tu m'en vas. Au revoir.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here.
Je m'en
Don't
vais.
take this from me.
Bye.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You have me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Holy crap. I'm doing it again.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for? Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Oh, c'est beau, c'est toujours différent.
You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Uh-huh.
No, perhaps not.
Do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Aku, merci pour le follow.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being...
Ah ouais.
Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't... Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Ouais, c'est assez creepy. Merci le Sugi pour le follow, merci, bienvenue.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish
Ouais.
I still thought that was possible.
Merci beaucoup Julien Loco, merci d'avoir fait un abonnement à Tog. Bienvenue Tog. Merci beaucoup Julien Loco. Bienvenue, bienvenue. Parce que le but du jeu, il n'y a pas vraiment de but en fait. Faut suivre ton instinct, faut suivre la voie, tu fais ce que tu veux un peu. Je peux pas me suicider. I cannot suicide. No. Walolo. Pam 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 pam. Merci beaucoup Loïc007 pour l'abonnement. Bienvenue. Merci, merci. Merci beaucoup. Le mur invisible anti-suicide, mais oui.
Is it over? It's going to
Ah,
restart.
ça a marché.
I'm going back.
Aïe. Ça c'était notre fin, j'imagine.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
C'est hyper chaud comme jeu, grave.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
Je suis allée à droite ou pas dans
I realize that
le
investing
truc
your
rouge?
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the... What? Really?
What?
I was in the middle of
Really?
something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Merci beaucoup Jojo pour l'accepter de moi. Salut, salut,
Now
ça va et
listen
toi?
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
C'est ce que j'ai
You
fait
see
juste
that
avant
I
ça, non?
really have wanted you to be happy all this time. The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to
c'est
get
ce que je viens de
somewhere
faire
that isn't
exactement.
here.
Ah, que
Running
je voulais
and
retourner en
running
bleu
and
en fait.
running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Ouais, j'ai la mémoire qui flanche là.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yeah.
Encore.
Oh, it's
Oh non.
beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay... No, wait. Where are you going?
Non.
no. Stay away from those stairs. If you
C'est
hurt
exactement ce que
yourself,
je viens de
if
faire.
you die, the game will reset.
Frappe.
We'll lose all of this. Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
Ouais, il
stop
est cool
by
ce
the
jeu,
employee
ouais.
lounge first, just to admire
Faudrait
it.
qu'on trouve d'autres fins.
It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Closing
left.
doors like in PUBG. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in
Crap.
control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Crap.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. When Stanley came to
Il
a
me
set
reste des
of
trucs
2
à faire à
open
droite, c'est
doors,
sûr.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Je vais finir
and
un côté
Stanley
avant de
knew
faire
it
l'autre.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was
On va
okay.
trouver un truc, vous inquiétez pas.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
J'aurais au Blade.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not
Il y a
asking
encore un
for
truc
me,
là-bas?
I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? That wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ah bah.
I can't believe I
Ah bah
was
ouais.
so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, In this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice.
Un mec
He could
qui
spend
s'appelle
years
Steven a un
helping
choix.
improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations.
Il a
Or
passé
he could
plusieurs
systematically
années à
set
essayer de
fire to
trouver un
every
moyen
orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
d'améliorer la
Which
vie
choice
des
would you
populations
make?
plus pauvres de la
Remember
planète.
that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Oh. Practice. Oh.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
C'est un alligator.
Most medical professionals
Crocodile.
recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Oui.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Bye bye, Sperodine.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Ok. Ils ont mis des barrières et tout pour pas que je jump, quoi. Hi.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh mais du coup ça revient à la même fin que tout à l'heure. Wait, what?
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Holy crap.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Allô?
Stanley spoke the code.
Ah, faut que je le dise? En vrai? Beslev, merci beaucoup d'avoir fait un abonnement à Pastèque Saignante, merci. Bienvenue Pastèque Saignante, merci beaucoup Beslev. Ils m'entendent? Requin marteau 115. Bonjour.
I'm sorry, is there a
Ah
problem?
mince, il faut que je le dise en
You
anglais.
didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver.
Débat.
Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have
Merci,
better
merci,
things to do.
Veslav.
I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Il fallait vraiment que je le prononce dans l'interphone, le truc? Ou il me bluffe? Parce que j'ai pas compris là.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
What?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oui, left. C'est le griffe de luxe. Ah mais non mais...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Allô?
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
What the heck?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that you... My story! You've destroyed my work! Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
No.
I have to. I have to.
No! No.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Oh. Oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Why do I have the credits now?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Holy crap.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Holy crap.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Guys, I think I'm gonna go to bed. Je pense que j'allais dormir. Sinon, si je veux faire toutes les fins, j'en aurais pendant 30 ans.
But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Bonne nuit, boss gaga, ciao ciao. Oh my lord.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Ouais, c'est clair, vengeance. Je pense que j'aurais pas fini de tout regarder. J'aurais pas fini de tout regarder. Pardon.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Quoi? Je vais mourir?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nah.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world was.
Wow.
Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
No!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
But there's a
In
woman.
a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wow. That is great. C'est génial. Oh purée, t'es dans l'office de la conception du jeu, c'est énorme. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. Why do I go back? Can you check for me? How do I go back? Okay, on peut regarder les... Ouais, il y a des... Green light. In September 12, 2012, we submitted a Stanley Parable to greenlight Valve's process of approving games for Steam. Which were still enough to win the community's approval. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield. What? Dans les débuts du développement du jeu, ils ont fait une scène de fin où Stanley finit par combattre des aliens sur un champ de bataille. Mais au final, ils ont abandonné le projet. Énorme! Énorme! Alien Base. Oh, tellement cool! Waouh! Il est trop bien ce jeu. C'est incroyable. The Office. Narrator's email. After the second trailer, après le deuxième trailer, on a demandé aux gens d'envoyer un email au narrateur pour lui poser des questions. Here are a selection of those emails. From one young urgent response needed. I have burning questions. For instance, on a scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali, how surreal will this game be? Were you born with a magnificent... Wow, that's strong bad. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Est-ce qu'il y a des quêtes infinies? Combien de fins différentes? Nice, je crois que c'est des vrais emails. Huh. Magic Circle, anti-chive. How is the game going? I hope it's good or better than the first one from a cool man. How do you stay in shape? Nice. The Lounge. An early version of the Lounge. Ah, ça c'est une des versions du début du Lounge. Trop cool. Stanley's office. From left to right, de la gauche à la droite, l'évolution du bureau de Stanley over the temps, sur le temps. The first was created. Ça c'est novembre 2011. Ok. Mars 2012. Et février 2013. Ah, énorme! Le mec qui a écrit le jeu, en fait, il a demandé à un game designer de designer ce level-là. Je l'ai pas fait encore celui-là, je crois. Si? Et la force de ce level, la puissance du level était telle, direct il l'a embauché. Direct il a été embauché pour design tout le jeu. Trop cool. Trop cool! Countdown Room. J'y suis pas allée à ça, non? Freedom Ending. Countdown Desk. The game is now paused. Escape menu. Pendant un long moment, on avait le ending screen qui disait that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Ah, pendant un long moment, ils avaient une fin où il fallait il fallait restart le jeu depuis le menu pour avoir une fin particulière. Sauf que les gens, ils ont pas compris, du coup ils l'ont pas fait. Trop cool. The ending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending, knowing as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. J'ai pas fait ça du tout. Oh, du coup, purée, j'ai encore plein de levels à faire, je suis en train de me spoil. We run 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one. Un des premiers trailers. Le premier trailer dévoilé en mai 2012. Skok, coucou! Toum, toum, toum. Merci beaucoup Skok pour le resub de 10 mois, merci. Et merci pour ton message. Bonnes vacances, merci! Merci beaucoup Skok! Comment vas-tu? C'est cool de te voir par ici. Il est tard, it's late. Est-ce que tu viens de finir de streamer? Trop cool. Oui. Good. Oh, trop cool. Attendez. Il y a quelques heures, ouais. Tu streamais sur quoi, Skok? Freedom Ending. Tellement cool. Office Clock. Et ça, faut que je regarde l'horloge, du coup, elle change. Boss Office. R6, et toi, tu pars où? Je pars loin, Skok. Préférablement, non, je pense que je vais profiter de la mer un peu. Escape, Mind Control Facility. Je vais prendre du temps pour cramer. Lol. Revenir bronzé. Tu sais que GR6 en plus. Oh purée, il y a un truc qui parle. GR6 et je voulais m'y mettre. Mais c'est tellement complexe. C'est tellement complexe que j'ai peur de commencer. Parce qu'il y a tellement de trucs à apprendre sur le jeu.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Stanley pushed perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on in
Énorme, ils te mettent même le truc de la voix du narrateur et tout, c'est huge. Énorme. Vas-y, un jour on se fait un coaching si tu veux. Ouais, carrément, avec plaisir, Skok. Ouais, trop bien. Dame s'y met aussi, j'ai vu que Damien 7 s'y était mis. Enfin, je suis passée sur son live, je sais plus quand. J'avais vu qu'il y était. Ah bon. Je savais pas que c'était sa première tentative de jeu. Ok, il faut qu'on quitte ce passage. Par là, non? Ah non, c'est pas par là. Not here. Not here. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Et on fait pas comme sur Apex, ouais, grave. Avec plaisir, Skok. Avec grand plaisir. Il y a Inès qui est motivée pour jouer avec les KNR sur R6. Les KNR sur R6, est-ce que j'ai bien lu ça, Clicéo? Est-ce que tu penses réellement que déjà on n'arrive pas à faire un Worms, on va faire un R6 entre KNR? Lul. Off. Je reviens mercredi la semaine d'après, Skok.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press
Ça marche, Skok. Avec plaisir.
This game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Oh! I'm dead. Je crois que je suis morte. Ah, c'est tout noir. Salut Lankenard, bonjour. Merci beaucoup Skok, des bisous, ciao ciao. Merci encore pour le resub. Je vais arrêter moi. Il se passe quoi là? C'est bugué? Enfin, il faut attendre ou faut restart le jeu vraiment? Ah, fallait l'écouter, vraiment? Ah, moi je pensais que c'était du troll quoi, comme d'hab. Ah, je suis morte. Je vais m'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui les amis. Je vais m'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui parce que ça commence à faire un live assez long. Je suis fatiguée. Oh non. Mais on a encore plein d'options à regarder sur Stanley, c'est beaucoup trop cool. Le jeu est vraiment très sympa. C'est très inattendu. J'espère que ça vous a plu. I hope you liked it.